Welcome to a world where nothing is quite as it seems. Welcome to fake Britain.
Police officer, stay where you are. You're under arrest.
In this series, I'm going to be investigating the world of the criminals who make their money at your expense. And I'm going to be showing you how not to get ripped off. Today on Fake Britain, we go on the trail of the diesel fakers.
We'd like to get in, HM Revenue and Customs.
We uncover the remarkable story of the secret consignment of fake oil drills bound for the Middle East.
I thought, could this really be happening in Peterborough?
And find out what happens when mini pig breeders start telling porkies. Now, we all lock up our home securely from intruders when we go out, but worryingly, it's not just burglars who threaten our security. Now, you imagine going out for the day, returning home and finding that somebody else had moved in, and it's all thanks to a fake landlord. Angela Bella Leach and her family had moved out of their council house in East London for 2 weeks while building work was being carried out.
We drove past the house and noticed that there was curtains up. And so I went to try my key in the door just so I could go in and have a look at the house. And I couldn't even use my own door key in the house. And that's when one of the gentlemen that are living in there opened the door, started shouting at me, asking me who I was, telling me, and I explained, you know, this is my house, who are you? And he started shouting, no, this was his house, he lives here, who am I? I've got no right to the house. He was very confrontational, in my face, shouting. And so my husband, Harry, come along to stop any confrontation, to basically stop the man being so aggressive towards me.
Angela was the victim of a fake landlord. They'd broken into her home while she was away, changed the locks and rented it out to someone else. They make a tidy profit by asking for cash deposits up front. In cases like this, often the new tenants are victims too, as the deposits and rents they may lose can run into thousands of pounds. Angela called the police and council, but the tenants said they'd paid rent up front and refused to budge.
Now, because there is somebody in my property, first of all, it doesn't feel safe to come around here because they know who I am because they've seen me on several occasions. And it's quite a violation. And it shouldn't feel like that no matter where you are, especially walking past your own home.
Angela was left with no option but to stay here in the temporary accommodation the council had moved her into.
You have to excuse the stairs. We've not even laid carpet because we don't know where we're going to be living week to week.
And all because of a fake landlord.
We've got all the suitcases around the place because we can't put up the wardrobes because we don't know if we'd have to dismantle them within 24 hours or whatnot if we got to move again. So basically, we're living out of the suitcases. Oh, it's horrific.
Angela and her family missed their old home, and while the police and the council try to sort out the problem, all they can do is wait. But Angie's family weren't the only victims. George Pope was their next-door neighbour. One day, he took his dog for its usual walk. After falling ill, he stayed the night at a friend's house. When he returned home, he found a fake landlord had visited his property too, and illegal tenants had already moved in.
I came back here at midday on a Saturday, and I put my key in the door, it didn't fit. And suddenly I noticed outside the porchway, loads of orange bags, and I undone them. That's my stuff, so I walked straight out, phoned the council, it's an emergency service. As I did, I saw a Lithuanian fella walk in the garden, so I said, excuse me, what are you doing? He said, this is my home now. He said, I paid £3,000 deposit, 6 months. I said, have you? I said, I've been here 4.5 years, mate. I said, it's my home and I pay the rent, gas and electric. So that's when, of course, the police were called, and it took them 6 hours to come round.
What had looked like an isolated incident was in danger of taking over the whole neighbourhood. The tenants alleged they had the right to live there. They produced a letter from a local estate agent saying the property had been rented out to them. It was looking like George and Angie might never get back in.
I was very near to fainting. Yes, I did cry. Knowing that other people were in the place. wasn't fair and wasn't right. Traumatic and frightening.
After 2 weeks, the police eventually got hold of the copy of the letter.
They have a legal document, a headed document, but it was fake, it was false.
But finding out the letter was faked was one thing. Getting the tenants out was quite another. They weren't answering the door for anybody.
The whole thing was extremely traumatic, and I was sort of shaking and shivering a lot of the time. Never again, please, anything like it.
Across the country, fake landlords have been making money by breaking into properties while the occupiers are away and renting them out. Angie Bella-Lige found illegal tenants in her council house, and she and her family had to stay in temporary accommodation. The legal wrangling went on for so long, her temporary move is now permanent. And 72-year-old George Pope is another victim of fake landlords, but today is the day he finally gets his home back.
Hopefully it's a new start, a new life for a 72-year-old boy. That's it, in we go, at long last.
But things aren't exactly how he left them.
And here's where the washing machine was. That's gone. They're ruthless, they don't care what they do.
They'd even taken his food.
There was nothing in them. Yeah. So sad.
And upstairs as well,
A bit slow, because only 1.5 legs.
more worrying discoveries.
And in here, that looks like a drug needle, I think. I don't know. I don't want handling things.
And it seems the tenants didn't care much about taking money from a pensioner.
One of my old wallets, which I won't find any more in, because I only have £30 in that. Nothing at all in them.
And his clothes as well.
Stone empty. That and my jeans in.
For George, the whole experience has been overwhelming.
Bit shaky again. Glad to be home, but, you know, it's going to take a little while to settle in here. But I'm home, I suppose. I've got to look at it that way and try and keep bright and happy and positive.